Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is finally the end of the year. I have no idea where the time went. I can't believe there's only 8 weeks left of my pregnancy. It is just flown in. 2017 was such an amazing year, but I think I'm a little biased with this one. 2018 is going to be the best year yet. For sure, for me personally, I'm so excited for it. But of course, I wanted to film a New Year's Eve makeup tutorial for you guys. I wanted to do something a little bit more fun, fresh, dewy, rose gold inspired. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And if you want to learn how I did this makeup look, then just keep on watching. Okay, first things first, I'm putting my EOS Visibly Soft Lip Balm on because, as you can tell with my voice, my sickness just doesn't want to leave me. I think maybe because I can't really take anything since I'm pregnant. It's a little bit more prolonged, but still stuffy and a little bit more dry in this area, so I need to definitely add some hydration. So next up I'm going to add this Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Hydration Mist. It's amazing. I use it before makeup and after makeup, although don't use it when you're talking because it does not taste good. Now that our face is ready to go, I am going to be adding one of my favorite products at the moment, and it's the ByTerry CC Cream in Sunny Flash. I'm just going to do one pump of this, and whatever is in this is amazing because it smooths out any pores, fine lines, and then it also just gives you a really pretty bronzy glow. So I'm just going to put this all over. Also, I already have done my eyebrows in case you're wondering. I just wanted to fast forward that step, but this stuff just makes you feel alive and rejuvenated. Obviously it looks a little bit crazy once I've just rubbed it into my face because my skin goes a little bit red, but it's amazing stuff. So you can just see my skin looks healthier, it has a little bit of life back in it, and honestly, on an everyday basis, with a little bit of concealer, I would just leave it at this, but it is New Year's Eve, and it's fun to experiment with more makeup. So, sticking with the same brand, I'm taking the foundation by ByTerry, and I have this in the shade 7.5 Honey Glow. Again, I'm only taking one pump of this, and I'm taking my clearly very dirty beauty blender, and I'm just putting it on the areas that I need a little bit of coverage, so mostly the center of my face from rubbing it so much and blowing my nose, especially my nose because it is very, very red. And then whatever is left on my sponge, spreading it out to the corners of my face, right up into my ear. As you can see with one pump, it just gives a really natural, glowy finish to your face, but it does look perfected. Go ahead and add more pumps if you need to. It is very easy to build and it still looks natural. Now for concealer, I'm taking my Tarte Shape Tape, and this is in the shade Light Medium Honey. And I'm just going to keep this in the center of my face, so right in the inner corner of my eyes, bridge of my nose, a little bit on my forehead, around my mouth, and my chin. Using my beauty blender, and I'm just going to buff that into my skin. I'm just putting it in the center of my face because I feel like it looks a little bit dull there. Probably because I'm still a little bit sick and it just needs to be brightened up a little bit. I normally like to use my Tarte Shape Tape in the center of my face, and then I go in with a lighter concealer to spot conceal if I need to. I'm going to do another couple sprays of this Elizabeth Arden mist, making sure my skin is extremely hydrated. Whew. Again, why do I talk while putting that on? And now going in with my cream bronzer, the Chanel Universal Tan, with my Sigma, what is this called? Small Duo Fiber F55 brush. Now, I don't know about you, but I love to look nice and bronzy and glowy on New Year's Eve. Starting a new year fresh and bronzy is my cup of tea, so I'm going to go a little bit heavier. I also do have a little bit of fake tan on, so I do want it to blend in with my neck, but this stuff, I feel like you can go, you feel like you could put on a lot, but it never looks like you put on a lot because it is so natural, and I don't even need to rave about it because you guys know how much I love this bronzer, but this is a bronzer where you can kind of go overboard, but it just doesn't look overboard. Now to set all of the areas that we put our concealer, I'm using my NYX Banana Powder and this Sigma Tapered Highlighter F35 brush, and I'm using a very small amount. I don't want this look to look powdery or too matte, so only using it in the areas I just used the concealer. If you know you get a little bit oilier in your T-zone, then go ahead and pack on a little bit more in those areas that get a little bit more oily. Like for me, my nose always gets the oiliest, so I'm going to pack a little bit more on that area, but keep the other areas nice and soft. Also, if you want to define your cheekbone a little bit more, just take that setting powder and go right under the bronzer slash contour, and all of a sudden it just looks a lot more sharp and defined and lifted. So it's a little trick. You can just take your setting powder right under it and it just lifts it and defines the entire look. For blush, I've been using my Lancome Cushion Blush in 24 Sparkling Framboise, and it's a little cushion blush. I love this stuff. It brightens up the look, and I think anything with this berry tone color just really complements gold, rose gold tones, which we are going to be using on our eyes. Also remember, you want this to last until early hours in the morning, so a little bit more blush never hurt anybody, because for me personally, I find it's the first thing to fade in the night, so I'm going to start off a little bit more heavy-handed. And lastly for face, for now, I'm going to take my highlighter, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand Glow, and I'm going to put it on the back of my hand and just press this in the areas I really want to glow. So the tops of my cheek, a little bit above my eyebrow, bridge of my nose, and the top of my lip. Okay, now on to the fun part and the main part of this entire look. We're going to move on to our eyes. I'm going to take this MAC Painterly Paint Pot, which I haven't used in so long, but I thought for this look, we want it to stay all day and we want it to look extra festive, so we're going to use it. So I'm just going to put this all over my lids to cancel out any discoloration and create a base for the shadows that we're going to use. Now for eyeshadow, I'm going to use this Narcissus palette. It is the Wanted palette. I promised you guys that I was going to use it, so I'm going to do just that. There's so many pretty shades in it, but we're going to kind of stick to the rose gold section. I'm going to take the lightest shade in the palette right here on a flat shader brush. This is the Sigma E60 brush, and we're just going to use this to set the base that we just put on. For our transition shade, I'm going to take this color in the palette right here, which is a really pretty light warm brown color, and I'm taking this on a dome-shaped blending brush, and I'm just going to put this right in our crease from the outer corner right into the inner corner. Now going into the shade right beside it, it's a little bit of a darker tone of the shade we just used, and I'm using it on a more defined pointed brush, and this is the Sigma Tapered Blending E45 brush. I'm keeping this color only at the outer corner, and I'm putting it in my crease, but also connecting it to my lash line. Now to further darken up the corner, I'm taking the darkest shade in the palette, which is a really nice dark espresso shade. Using it on the same brush, I'm just going to do the same technique we did with the previous shade. Taking a clean blending brush as I go here and just softening up the corner to make sure it doesn't look too harsh. Once you're happy with the depth of the shadows, this is the fun part. I'm going to take this really thin flat shader brush. This is the Sigma F70, and I'm going to take my Soft Ochre MAC paint pot and taking the tiniest amount, I don't want too much, so I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hand to work with. We are going to carve out the inner corner of our eyes and just matte it out with this shade so that we can put a nice bright sparkly rose gold shade. So wish me luck here, because sometimes you can go a little overboard with this part, so I only want it in the inner corner. With a very light hand, I'm just blending it into the darker shade. I don't want it to be harsh there at all. I want it to be a nice gradient, so most of the product is in the inner corner, and then whatever is left on the brush, I'm just lightly stroking it through so that it's not like a harsh stop line. It just kind of fades into the darker shades. And then the same on this side. Now taking this really pretty rose gold peachy shade, I'm going to use it on the same brush that we used the paint pot because it has a little bit of that tackiness to it. I'm just going to pick it up, and it is such a pretty shade. Oh my goodness. And I'm just going to press that on where we just put all of the soft ochre, and it's just going to stick really nicely and it won't move all night. Doing the same technique, putting most of the opacity in the inner corner and then just lightly scraping it through to the outer corner. Now to further intensify it, you can leave it here if you want to maintain the sparkle, but it is New Year's Eve, so I feel like it's the one night you can go overboard with a little bit more jazziness on your eyes. So I'm taking the Stila Magnificent Metals in Kitten Karma, and this is just a little bit of a brighter sparkle shade, and I'm going to pop this right in the inner tear duct of my eye, and it's just going to really amplify this look. Now because I do have lash extensions on, I'm not going to put mascara or false lashes on. They have been on for 2 weeks, so they could be a little bit fuller, but I'm not going to add even individuals because it does wreck the lash extension itself. So feel free to add some lashes here, be extravagant, minimal, whatever you want. I am going to take my Whisky liner from Urban Decay though and just put it right at the outer corner and wing it out just a little bit, and then also smudge it on my lower lash line just to finish off my eyes. Okay, that is going to be it for eyes. I'm going to go back to my face, and I'm using my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer on a Sigma F50 brush, and I'm just going to set the Chanel bronzer that we use because it is a cream bronzer and I don't want it to move throughout the night, so just putting that in all of the areas that we bronzed and contoured. Now finally, we are at the end of this look, and that means lips. I'm going to take 3 different products here. I'm starting off with the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Lip Pencil in Iconic Nude. This is definitely my favorite lip liner at the moment. And then I'm going to fill with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Lips in the shade Charlotte Darling. And again, this is a beautiful shade. You could leave it here if you want a matte effect, but I want to add a little bit of glossiness and a little bit of that coral peachy punch to kind of bring the look together. So I am taking this Chanel gloss in the shade Nectar. To finally finish off the look, I'm taking this Scandinavian Skin Spray, and this is just the regular makeup setting spray. Giving myself a really good mist, making sure that this makeup is staying on perfect until 12 midnight. So that is it for my New Year's Eve makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also press the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads, especially going into the new year. There's a lot of great things coming up, and there's a baby coming, which is very exciting. So I hope you guys all have an amazing and safe New Year's Eve, and I'll see you guys all next year. Bye!